Since we can't enjoy the movies in the theater right now, we decided to bring the theater to you.
Tonight, we will share some of our favorite films as well as the stars that those films showcase.
And in the FFA world, we will be able to showcase our stars over Illinois.
So let's meet our first star of the evening.
Our first star this evening has held many lead roles in blockbuster chapters, such as the Lord Batita FFA chapter, the Virginia FFA Association, and starring in her largest role yet as your 2019-2020 National Eastern Region Vice President.
So sit back, relax, find your favorite movie seat, and enjoy big gifts and thank yous brought to you by our National Eastern Region Vice President, Miss Tess Seibel.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for having me and celebrating convention this year in a very special way. You know, on my way over here this morning, there were a lot of things going through my mind. And I have to admit, some of those things were about my life outside of FFA. For instance, I've been meaning to call my grandma. I meant to schedule a doctor's appointment, and I really should order some things from Walmart the next time that I get the chance. Another thing that's been on my mind though, is about a birthday present that I have to get for a friend back home. And that is a whole beast in of itself. I mean, a birthday present for a good friend. I have known this person for years, and I really want to get her something that matters. When I started thinking about everything that I could get for my friend, I started thinking about some of the best birthday presents that I've ever gotten. And this made me wonder about some of the best birthday presents that all of us have ever gotten. And since we don't have the chance to talk about this next question, feel free to just think about it to yourself. What is the best gift that you have ever gotten? Something that you really wanted, that had been on your wish list for months. Got it? Remember the moment when you ripped open the package and saw what was inside? What did it feel like? For me, when I ripped open my dream package, I felt on top of the world. Y'all get this. I got a 2006 black Mustang GT, remote control car. My 8-year-old self was ecstatic. I remember it like it was yesterday. I ripped open the package, looked and saw what was inside, did a little happy dance, ran over, gave my parents a giant hug, and thanked them roughly 100 times. I'm sure the look on my face gave away how excited I was to get this thing. Now though, the other end of the spectrum. What is a gift that you have gotten that definitely wasn't on your wish list? An ugly sweater? A bag with the entire High School Musical cast on it when you were in middle school? No one? Just me? That's okay, Grandma. I know you meant well. We rip open the package, look and see what's inside and think, what the heck? And our reaction goes a little something like this.
Avocado! Thanks!
Just like this kid, we say thank you, but a little less enthusiastically. Whether we're given something that we really want or not, hopefully all of us say thank you for the gifts that we're given. The crazy thing is that most people only say thank you for the gifts that they're given that can be held in their hands. What happens when we're given a gift that can't be wrapped up in a package? This thought came to me a mere 2 months ago. I was going through an old FFA jacket. Maybe you've done this too. You take your jacket out of the closet after a little while and dig around in the pockets. When we're going through the pockets of our jackets or even sports bags or wallets, we can find a lot of interesting things. For instance, last time I went through my jacket, I found a crumpled up dollar bill, a chapstick that I swore I lost, and a penny. I also found a worn out note that had clearly spent some time chilling inside of my jacket pocket. I carried this note with me everywhere, for 4 years of high school and even after. In fact, I had this note with me on the day that I got elected to national office. When I pulled out this note again and looked at it, I was flooded with memories. This note was a time machine, and the story of it requires us to flash back to 6 years ago, to when I was a freshman in high school. I was the definition of awkward in 9th grade. I was super, super small for my age, and my self-confidence was about as big as my height. Picture this. I am this tall, had huge glasses, and a haircut that wasn't cute. In fact, some people have told me that I looked like Harry Potter. Flattering compliment for a teenage girl, I know. Flash forward a couple months, Harry Potter Tess walks herself into FFA camp. I had a fun time at camp, sleeping in the bunkhouse, beating the July summer heat in the pool, and playing way too many games of capture the flag. I had an awesome time at camp, but I left feeling like the same awkward little kid that had arrived. Luckily for me, we have a camp tradition where we write happygrams or encouraging notes to other campers. You know, thinking about that now, I've never really known what to write on those things, like, you're cool, glad we met, keep in touch, here's my email, or whatever. But as I looked in my bag on the way home from camp that year, I saw a note that taught me what a happygram should look like. And that note was from someone that I looked up to. On the note were the simple words, I believe in you. Whoa, hold up, this person who I looked up to believed in Harry Potter Tess? It might sound simple, but that note was powerful because it was the last thing that I expected to see in my bag that year. Even though it was just a simple little note, it made a difference. Looking at this note, my heart was full of gratitude. This was the first time in my life I had ever heard these words from someone that wasn't a blood relative. As much as that note meant to me, however, I was faced with a real dilemma when looking at it. Whoa, this is the nicest thing that someone has ever said to me. But where do I go from here? Do I tell them thank you? Maybe. But that would be way too weird, way too awkward, way too uncomfortable. I'm just not going to say anything. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this one to myself. And that's exactly what I did. For 4 years, I tucked that note inside of my jacket pocket and kept it all to myself. For a point of reference, 4 years is how long it would take to watch over 34,000 episodes of Grey's Anatomy or any other show that's an hour long. Contest after contest, camp, convention, you name it, that note was there. That note was my motivation to start believing in myself. Of all the things that note gave me the courage to do, though, I never had the courage to say thank you to its author. I just kept it to myself for 4 years. 4 years is how long it takes to drive from my home state of Virginia all the way to California 867 times. For some of us, we say thank you to others immediately. For other people like me, though, it takes a while if we ever say thank you. Why? Why don't we say thank you even when we know that we should? I'll tell you why. It is awkward to tell someone that they have changed your life. First of all, how do you even put into words a life-changing impact? How do you even begin to tell someone, my life is better because of you, and here's why? 2, 9 times out of 10, there are some crazy emotions wrapped up in this conversation. Through tears in our eyes, a quiver in our voice, or something else, we try to say something so important, and it comes out sounding like Chewbacca. Putting ourselves in a situation like this is vulnerable. It's uncomfortable. It can even be scary at times. What if they don't even remember the thing that they did to change my life? What if they think that I'm weird for telling them how I really feel? Besides the fact that it could be awkward to have this conversation, sometimes we just put it off. We think that person's always going to be there, or I'll tell them the next time I see them. Y'all, what if we lose the chance to tell someone how much they really mean to us? We find all of these reasons to not say thank you, instead of finding one reason to say just 2 words. Flash forward 4 years, I finally found the courage to say those 2 words. 4 years is how long it took me to believe in myself. Sure, the conversation was kind of awkward. Sure, I cried because of how much that note meant to me. Sure, the thank you wasn't super beautiful, but that wasn't what mattered. What mattered was that even after 4 years, I'd finally said thank you. After 4 years, I'd finally told someone how I really felt. We need to move past the idea of how awkward this conversation could be and just do it. Sure, it could be awkward and uncomfortable, but it will be so worth it. The hard trick is that we are already trying to figure out a whole lot at our age. Questions like, what's my job gonna be? And am I gonna go to college? And how am I gonna get all my homework done and my chores and hang out with my friends consume our minds? Another question that we ask ourselves, maybe a bigger question, is where do I belong? One thing that really matters in school is the cafeteria. The school cafeteria, a place where all of us can sit in one room, catch up on the latest gossip, and eat something delicious, or not. Right here, you have the football players. Over there, the popular girls, and in the back, the band kids. For kids like me, though, I didn't feel like I fit at any one of those tables. I felt like no matter where I sat, that I wouldn't be accepted, that I was too quiet, or too smart, or too weird. I didn't have anywhere to sit and catch up on gossip or eat a snack. I didn't have anywhere to belong in the cafeteria. Every day when I heard the lunch bell ring, I had so much anxiety that I felt like crying. Outside of the school cafeteria, though, my high school superhero was a lady by the name of Mrs. Wimmer. Mrs. Wimmer was a 5'7" lady with at least 7 feet worth of sass in her. Mrs. Wimmer always had her coffee in hand and her hair done. Mrs. Wimmer was the best teacher at our school. Every day, whether we were learning a science experiment or something from the textbook, Mrs. Wimmer made it feel like it mattered. And one day, Mrs. Wimmer changed my life. The thing that Mrs. Wimmer did to change my life wasn't giving me extra credit on a test or even having some super deep life conversation. The thing that Mrs. Wimmer did to change my life was opening her door. Mrs. Wimmer saved kids like me from a friendless cafeteria fate. During lunch, she would catch up on grading or run some errands, but that wasn't what mattered. What mattered was that for 25 minutes a day, I felt like I belonged at school. All she did was open her door, but that open door made a difference. Here's the thing. I have yet to tell Mrs. Wimmer how much this really means to me. I keep putting it off and thinking the next time I see her, I'll tell her. As much as I believe in the importance of telling people thank you, I'm definitely not perfect in this area. This challenges me to change, though. And that change can start now. The next time I'm able to look Mrs. Wimmer in the eye, I hope the thank you goes a little something like this. Mrs. Wimmer, thank you. Thank you for opening your door. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for helping me feel like I belonged. Who are the people who have changed your life? A teacher? Your advisor? A parent? A student? A coach? Who are the people that you need to say thank you to? Why do we let these people walk around and never know how much they really mean to us? Here's how impact goes. Someone does something. That something impacts us. If we think of impact like a loop, never saying thank you never closes that loop. We let people who have fundamentally changed our lives walk around and not even know it. Another reason to say thank you, when someone changes your life, they uplift you. What does that even mean? They bet on you. They say, kid, you're worth it. That person wasn't required to do the thing that they did. When someone goes above and beyond, they do it intentionally. When someone is brave enough to uplift us, we have to be brave enough to uplift them. We uplift others by saying thank you. Hopefully, all of us watching this video want to make a positive impact on the world. Hopefully, we all want to make a difference. The thing is, we do make a difference every single day. A difference was made in my life through a note and a brown paper bag. Mrs. Wimmer made a difference by opening her door. A difference was made through small, intentional actions. We can all make a difference by saying thank you to the people who have made a difference in our lives. Every one of us watching this video right now, regardless of our age, background, experience, anything, has the ability to say thank you. So let's start. We have started a social media challenge. My challenge to you is to sincerely tell someone thank you After you do, grab a picture of them and post it on social media using hashtag FFA gratitude. Now, the reason we're posting isn't to make ourselves feel better, but it's to encourage other people to do the same. Now is also an awesome time to write some happy grams to people. Find a piece of paper, write a note, and drop it in the mail. If neither of these two things strike your fancy, pick up the phone and call someone. Say thank you to the people who have believed in you. Say thank you to the people who have made you feel like you belong. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just say thank you. Y'all, thank you so much for having me tonight, and have an amazing convention.